and Alan sit down to dinner, it'll be because she made a meal from Co-op groceries. Fresh green beans, candied yams, Nathan's hot dogs. If it were not for the Co-op, she says, a lot of us would not be able to survive. This is the bridge that helps us get over. From giving to receiving. The Bryans did everything right. Please highlight that. Because the message says what? In this nation right now, they're sorry. One of our Republican candidates who looks like me, you're not wealthy in this country, it's your own fault.
You're lazy.
Yeah, clown. Next time, just get a hat and a little feather and go Uncle Tommy. Anyway, they worked hard, paid bills, took modest vacations, and then the bottom fell out. I went from the giving to the receiving, O'Donnell says. The two met 14 years ago. Both were coming off failed marriages. He worked in the kitchen at Atlanta's famous Pitty Pat's Porch. She would visit a friend who worked there. Every time she stopped by, he'd run out and wave. He was the lanky 6'5" quiet guy. She was the woman who didn't want to be bothered. I don't know why he keeps doing that, O'Donnell would tell her friend. I was fresh out of a relationship with my kid's dad. I just wanted to be left alone, she said. I would just run from him. Eventually, he got her ear. They sat down and talked. A friendship blossomed. They married a couple of years later, raised 5 children from their previous marriages. The couple was never rich, but they were making it. They emerged from the lower class. She worked at a Publix grocery store and ran a small catering business. He worked 2 kitchen jobs, one for DoubleTree Hotel, another for Waffle House. Together, they brought in about $40,000. They bought a house for a bit over $100,000 in the neighboring city of Decatur. She'd often travel north of Atlanta to pick up toys and clothes for donation. She'd then go to a street corner in Atlanta's historically black West End neighborhood. Across the way was a homeless shelter. Those in need would come out to greet her. It just felt good, she says. Then their financial tsunami struck in the mid-2000s. She lost her job at Publix after an injured knee prevented her from working 40 hours, she said. About the same time, Alan lost his job with DoubleTree, and with it, their health insurance. In 2006, O'Donnell suffered a heart attack. She spent 9 days in the hospital undergoing an angioplasty so a stent could be inserted to help blood flow. The result, a whopping $47,000 bill, the family said. She survived her brush with death and had a new attitude to just embrace life. But she also had a more pressing demand. How are we going to survive? The Bryans sold their house for a heavy loss in 2007 before the bank could foreclose. Ever since, they've been living in apartments both in the city and in the suburb. Their home now is what?
Barclay.
What?
Barclay.
It's decorated, 2-bedroom apartment on the city's eastern edge. Their take-home pay after taxes amounts to roughly $1,200 a month. Wow. The rent is $750. They have 1 car. O'Donnell's sister and her 3 young children have moved in to help share the bills. It's humbling to give up the hairstylist you once loved. It's humiliating to pull out food stamps at the grocery store and feel the stares. People don't understand that there's a pride factor involved, O'Donnell said. I want people to understand that we're not lazy. We've just been dealt a different hand. Tell me what y'all think so far. Tell me what y'all think so far. What does that have to do with prophetic voices? Yes, ma'am. Was anybody saying anything? Y'all just sitting here quiet.
Well, I think that we're looking at this is just from what I hear. It's actually listed, especially when he says that we've been dealt a different hand. And this you can take it as far back as slavery, that was a different hand from the beginning.
Right.
So being dealt that different hand then, it's almost like a people who's trying to move forward from a system that was already set up for them. And so therefore, even when you have job cuts and things like that, because the dominant culture has always been given the opportunity to better themselves from the very beginning. We're still behind, even though that civil rights movement has taken place and those type of things. But in reality, nothing has really moved forward since then. There's a lot of stuff on paper, but there's not a lot of stuff in action.
There you go.
And so, how do you get past that? Because other than that, it's going to be a revolving door for the same people.
For me, this is the family next door.
Yeah.
This is the person sitting right next to you, and you may not even know.
It can be you.
Yes, it can be.
Because I might like to see $1,200 a month.
It's amazing how all of this is it's becoming a reality. Or it is something we are conscious or aware of, and we are encountering every day. How do you live out your faith within all of the context of all of this? Because there's still a lot of people running around with Bibles in their hands and all this stuff. How do you live out your faith through all of this? And that's for me right now is that's what I'm observing as I look at all of this. Because I'm hearing people talking about, I want to be the Jesus candidate. I'm like, you want to be the Jesus candidate, but then in the same voice, you are expressing everything that is anti-him.
Right.
Then you've got people who claim to represent Jesus. No, they say they're supporting you. It's crazy.
And
it's insanity.
Yeah. And that's where the prophetic voices come in. The prophetic voices come in not just to talk about it, but to empower people to transform not only the larger society, but how we interact. You saying you on the Lord's side, but every policy, every argument, every action that you're saying is contradictory to any of the teaching. Excuse me. So how you justify this?
We justified in Lord.